2 years ago, the largest country on the Asian subcontinent was still infected with polio. 2 years ago, skeptics and cynics around the world said this country proves polio can't be eradicated. Ladies and gentlemen, today, India is polio-free.
It's a matter of satisfaction that we have completed 1 year without any single new case of polio.
Ladies and gentlemen, a polio-free India is a magnificent achievement, and it is Rotary's achievement.
Rotary International is one of the key partners in the polio eradication efforts around the world.
Without Rotary, this polio campaign wouldn't be anywhere. And the incredible effort that's been made from the very beginning is really unprecedented.
Over the past 24 years of our partnership, Rotary has proven again and again that its 1.2 million Rotarians in 33,000 Rotary clubs in 170 countries around the world are much better than us, your partners, when it comes to the political and the societal challenge. You are better at convincing political leaders to hold local authorities and vaccinators accountable. You are better at convincing donor governments of the value in investing in polio eradication. Your voice, Rotary's voice, is the most powerful weapon we have in the war against polio.
We have the resources at hand in the world to tackle the problem. It's just the will and the money to be able to continue the fight. But it's totally doable.
I can see a great chance of success, but without redoubling the efforts, I know it won't come easily.
You have convinced the world's health ministers now that the completion of polio must be declared an emergency for global public health. Your core partners are all going into emergency mode.
If we back off now, the problem is going to get bigger and it's going to be even more expensive, especially if it spreads to different countries. It is a preventable disease. To give up on trying to eradicate a preventable disease, I think, is immoral. It's really almost unethical.
Rotarians, make the case for full financing of eradication. Write to your governments, meet with your ministers of international assistance. Make sure your government knows how generous you, Rotarians, have been and challenge them to match you.
You can't think of an organization that's put its reputation on the line and taken all of its capabilities, having volunteers, having a voice about the importance. It's really an unbelievable thing.
It would be a huge, huge public health achievement to eradicate polio from the face of the earth. And you can do it.
Today, Rotary's vision of a polio-free world is much, much closer to reality. The world is declaring the completion of polio eradication in these last few countries an emergency for global public health because we believe in your dream of a polio-free world. Now, your energy, your advocacy, and your generosity must be the energy that drives this emergency. Rotarians, a polio-free tomorrow is this close now.
Someone turn those lights off that are on the screen.
The problems with technology. You got to switch back and forth, so it's going to take a few seconds to get the next slide up. The slide after that, that's India on the night they were declared polio-free. You know, personal goal, everyone in this room's goal is to have 3 more of those pictures. Anyway, the organization that Rotary started in the mid-'80s is called the Global Polio Eradication Initiative. They've come up with a document that they call the endgame strategy. In other words, they're so close to the end, we realize what the steps are. In this particular case, this point here says that we should have been done with any infections December 31st, 2014. where I say there's 22 cases this year, the last case was March 15th. So we may have finally hit that point after 30 years, you know, if we're 2 or 3 months over, that's okay with me. One of the more important ones, again, is this last one. That's what they call the legacy step. And basically, what's going to happen is, okay, we hit December 31st, 2018, the world's declared polio free. What do we do with the infrastructure that's been built? What do we do with the knowledge about how to go out and cure disease and control disease? The legacy structure that's being developed is to maintain it, to keep it going, so that if other diseases come up, notice in Africa when they talked about Ebola, the world's coming to an end. Ebola is spreading all over the place. Not only is Ebola under control right now, but the numbers are going down. You know, think in terms of an oil tanker. You can't just snap and say done. The oil tanker, you say stop, it takes a while to stop. So the Ebola cases are going down. Anything that was coming on in the U.S. because of Ebola has been controlled. So again, that's going to be the legacy that we all leave, you know, to the future generations, is that we now know how to control these diseases. Next one, please. Okay, the second Gates challenge, and again, last year you might have heard me being sarcastic about Bill Gates. You know, he either heard me or he heard millions of people around the world saying, stop dumping on Rotary. He is supportive of Rotary, he just wasn't as open about it as he is now. He is very supportive about it. He always starts off with how this is working because of Rotary. We're in the middle of another Gates challenge. Every year through 2018, because everyone buys into that number, the Gates Foundation will match any dollar a Rotarian puts in with 2 other dollars. We're talking in terms of the Mother's Day card. Next slide, please. The Mother's Day card, you know, we're going to spend $10 a card. Gates puts 20 in. So every time you buy one of these $10 cards, $30 goes to polio. Next. That's the next one. You'll see them. We've got them here today. That's a Rotarian giving drops to a baby. It also talks in terms of how the $10 will vaccinate 16 children for the rest of their lives. Okay, the way the program works, you guys are already set up for this. Club runs it internally. Cards cost $10. If you're so inclined, you get Paul Harris points with that. You know, for your Paul Harris Fellow, Paul Harris Society. Next one. And this is the last one. This is a website where you can go to see it, polioeradication.org. I write a blog every couple of weeks, charliewasser.wordpress.com, about Polio Plus. In some cases, I use other people's slides. Again, you know, the main thing that we've got is to tell you we are that close. We are trying to raise money. The latest program is the Mother's Day cards. JR has those cards. I believe Millie said that some of you already pledged for them. I've got more cards if you want them. And we'll be talking more about this at Rotary U May 21st, which used to be called the District Assembly. We'll have more stuff on polio.
Charlie's our district rep for Polio Plus, and we have a sign-up sheet that's going around, or a sheet that's making its way through if you want to pledge and get some of the Mother's Day cards. Okay, so we got to move fast. Nominations for Rotarian of the Year and John Shirley Award.